So today in this photo breakdown, I'm going to go over a couple of photos from a photo shoot I did with Alice from Next Models. These two photos shows what you can achieve with two different lighting techniques. The picture on the left utilizes natural lighting, and the one on the right requires strobes and studio lightings. So let me set up the day for you, and the location also. It was around 12 to 1 p.m. and the sun was shining bright with some forecast, and the location we shot at was at a studio with a grand window at the end of the room, which you'll see a little bit in the diagrams later. The sun was coming in and out of clouds. So while I was setting up, I figured I could utilize both natural and studio lighting in case the sun decided to hide. So in one area I set up a light setup that used strobes and studio lightings. And in another area, I would utilize the natural grand windows. That way I can move between the two and see how I liked it depending on how I played with the mood and style of the shoot. Having those two areas. The first one was natural lighting. So let's go over the raw photo. The aperture is f3.5, shutter speed 1/80th of a second. ISO 320, and I was shooting with a 50mm 1.4. So a couple of things on this photo and the setup and the general shoot. I was 4 to 5 feet away from the model, and we were sandwiched in between the backdrop and the window. I shot at an angle so there would be some sort of separation from the model to the background, and also I would be able to utilize the focal length in such a tight area. Now the sun was moving in and out of the clouds, so I was constantly readjusting my camera settings in the camera. But I found this sweet spot at the one you see here. So these settings right here. Now, as I said, I set up a studio area for studio lighting and natural lighting. Let's go over the studio portion of the shoot. In this area, I shot her against a wall, but she wasn't right up against the wall. She was about 6 to 7 feet out, and I was 5 to 6 feet away from her. The studio was big enough that it afforded me the ability to shoot at a long focal length. A long fixed focal length, I should say, 100mm lens. Let's go over the raw file of this photo. The aperture is at f10, shutter speed 1/200th of a second, and ISO 100, and I was shooting well, of course, at 100mm 2.0 fixed aperture. Aside from the camera setting, because I was shooting at the long fixed focal length, I had to manually walk back and forth to adjust my distance from her. I also had a V-flat to bounce some light back onto her. Also, for the lighting setup, I had a beauty dish with a honeycomb grid stacked on top of a softbox, 170 by 170 softbox. I had the beauty dish stacked on top of the softbox with a boom arm. If I just had the beauty dish, I wouldn't be able to light the whole body. That's why I had to stack the two on top of each other. And you can see the outcome here. So these were just a couple of techniques I used to get two very different styles and moods. Throughout my years of shooting, I've gravitated towards more natural lighting. But as I shoot more with natural lighting, I found one very important thing. Never fully rely on Mother Nature and always have an out. Every shoot I plan, I always have an alternative style or ways in which the photo can go. Everything from the wardrobe, the mood of the shoot depends on the lighting. With that being said, I basically plan 2 shoots for one in case the natural lighting falls through. The studio lighting is more of a safety net. I don't do this for all the shoots, but there are some shoots where it's more laid back with just me and the model. But in this one particular photo shoot, it was a whole team and an agency model, so I had to really deliver on in terms for the agency and my team. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks for watching, guys.